that it violates the due process rights of citizens of Michigan. It violates the First Amendment rights of citizens of Michigan, and it also violates the voting rights of citizens of Michigan. So we put forth that argument. We believe that we made a strong and competent argument, and we are prayerfully optimistic that the court will see likewise.
The recent spate of voting rights victories, how does that play into this particular case?
Well, I believe it shows that there's a heightened consciousness by the citizens in America and by some courts as it relates to the voting rights of minorities. And hopefully the court will be conscious of that in rendering a decision as it relates to this case.
And finally, lost my thought. The argument that the elected officials under emergency management have the right to petition the emergency management.
Well, clearly that is a false proposition. Emergency managers in many instances have simply removed elected officials. And to the extent an elected official does have a right to petition an emergency manager, we argue that elected officials lose their right to legislate. And that right is given to emergency managers. They assume the executive branch as well as the legislative branch of government, which is clearly a violation of the separation of powers under our Constitution.
Okay. Now, it was mentioned that the argument for racial discrimination or had been dismissed without prejudice.
Correct.
What did that mean?
Correct. Well, what that meant was, in order for us to get all of these other issues before the Court of Appeals, we had to dismiss that count without prejudice. We will bring that count back. Hopefully we'll bring it back with others that we have argued before the court today. Hopefully we will win on voting rights and First Amendment and due process. And we will only have to have one trial as it relates to emergency management, inclusive of the 14th Amendment and all of these other issues. We were trying to prevent having two trials, a trial on the 14th Amendment and then going to the Court of Appeals, winning Voting Rights Act or First Amendment or due process and having a subsequent trial. We only want to try this case one time.
All right. Thank you.
All right.